All right, let's do a couple shorts talking about if Jesus's ministry recorded in the Gospels was 1 year or 3 years or something else. So traditionally, if you were to go to church and hear a pastor teach, you probably hear them say at some point, Jesus had a 3-year ministry. And then you would ask, well, how do we know that? And the truth is, we don't. That is a kind of a folklore that has been developed over years. And I think it came from early church fathers and not engaging fully with the text correctly. It may have come from them looking at Daniel, the book of Daniel, and kind of figuring out a 3-year period from there or something to that effect. I'm not quite sure, but some people want to say, well, it's because of the book of John, and there are 3 different Passovers in the book of John recorded, so therefore it must have been 3 years. Well, the book of John isn't exactly chronological, so I'm not sure what was going on there. I think that may be more theological than chronological, to be honest. But if you take the rest of the synoptics, which are a little more chronological, not completely, but a little more, you would probably deduce that Jesus's ministry was probably a year long. And so that's, when you read any scholarship on it, you would likely get the case that we don't really, the answer is we don't know exactly how long it was. If you look at the book of John and count the Passovers and then try to figure out from Passover, he inaugurates, then ends on the Passovers like 2.5 years. If you look through Mark and then Luke and then Matthew, you would come up with about a year. He spends most of his time up in Galilee and in that region, and then he comes down to Jerusalem for that one Passover, and then that's it. So the answer, the complicated answer is we don't know. It seems like about 1 year is what it was if you go by the synoptics. If you want to stretch it into 2.5 because of John, maybe. But the 3-year one is definitely not the case, and that's just because of a misreading of a prophetic thing in Daniel that really doesn't make sense with the Gospels to line those things up together. So anyway, that's kind of the scholarly answer, and it's kind of what we see in the Gospels.